It really isn't normal if you're holding on to your last thread, or if you're walking on eggshells, or you're constantly tired and not feel like you get anything done. You're just so depleted that you feel like you can't function in your day. Today, I want to share a little bit about something that really changed my life that I've implemented in the last year, or almost 2 years actually, that really changed everything for me because I was always tired. I felt just not great. I generally just didn't feel great, and it made me anxious. It made me feel disappointed in myself, and overall I just felt like I was letting everyone else down because I felt like I couldn't keep up with what I thought in my head I should be doing. And if you've experienced something similar, I hope this video will help you the way it helped me get better and not feel this constant cloud over your head, or this constant drag, or you feel like you're running around with 200 pounds and it's just holding you back in every part of your life. And so today I want to share these with you. When people used to tell me you need to fill up your own cup, otherwise you can't serve others, I was just like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what I have going on in my life. You don't know the stress I'm dealing with. Yeah, I fill up my cup. You're right. I'll do that eventually later. But I got so annoyed by it because I felt like, yes, everyone wants to fill up their own cup first, obviously, but there's certain situations where you can't do it. And I just had a baby. I was on my own. There was just no way. And sometimes that's the first thing that I want you to acknowledge. Sometimes you cannot fill up your cup, and that's not good, but that's the reality. And just being okay with that and understanding that this is hopefully a temporary thing. Even if things don't change, you will eventually learn how to adjust to them. It is okay in letting go of the expectation to always having to fill up your cup first and feeling guilt that you're not doing it, because guilt is only something if you have a choice. Sometimes we don't have a choice. We literally have a responsibility to take care of something, and it's not even guilt, it's just something that we have to do. And for one, it's not even we need to be guilty for it, because that's the priority we have in the moment. And acknowledging that you don't have to fill up your cup at all times is the first relief of stress, because you thinking that you're not doing enough is adding to the stress. And if you are okay with sometimes not being able to do that, that's the first step. But obviously at some point you do want to see how can you incorporate little things into your life that will actually allow you to feel like you're filling up your cup first so you can help others better. And it's not just about trying to help others, because also if you fill up your own cup, your own life will be better. It's not just with others, but it's also for yourself, obviously. But there's so many things that I started incorporating, and I will share them with you in this video. But I want to start with something that really, really changed the game, and it was being consistent with myself. And that led me to having so much more self-confidence, so much more self-respect. It's something that made me so proud of myself, and it gave me a boost of energy, and that was holding up my commitments. And it's simple as, I'm not gonna not do my bed. I'm not gonna not get dressed because I'm home all day. I'm gonna eat junk food because I just don't care. Following through those small things really such a boost of energy, and it fills you up because you feel like, oh my gosh, I have self-respect because I'm doing it, not for anyone else but myself. This sounds really silly, but I've always loved flowers, and I think most people probably do as well. I sometimes would get into the narrative, oh, like they don't last so long, you don't need to buy flowers, they're just gonna be gone in a week. And so especially when it was hard to afford, I still bought them. I wasn't buying those crazy big bouquets, but I still would buy one flower. Sometimes I love the look of just one flower, or I would just go somewhere and pick flowers from the field. Don't worry, I paid for them, but it is just something I started doing because I love having beautiful things in my home. And I think that's just a little perk that I started doing. And sometimes I would catch myself being like, oh, it's not that worth it. Is it worth it? Like going to the store, grabbing them, or just sometimes I feel like, oh, I'd rather with them have being gifted. It's just so, like, I would come up with reasons why I shouldn't do it. Every time I do buy them, I just feel so happy, and it makes me so happy, and it's just a commitment that I did to myself, even though it's something so silly and small. It brings me joy every day. One thing I struggled with for a really long time was seeing myself just as important as others. And when I was living with someone, I was always the one making dinners and lunches and whatnot, and I would always make that person's plate really nice. I would arrange it, use the nice best pieces of avocado, and just like try to make it really nice for this person, because it was obviously a way of me showing that I care, but it also was something that I enjoyed doing, and at the end I would just grab whatever was left and would just chuck it in a thing and be like, okay, whatever. And that's so sad if you think about it. It was just such a small gesture of not caring about myself, but that's something I changed. I make sure that not just everyone else's plate is nice, also my plate is nice, because that makes such a difference when you eat, because you look at something that's actually presented nicely. It makes all the difference when eating. It just gives a whole new experience, and it shows that you respect yourself just as much as you respect others. One thing I started enjoying doing, as much as I love podcasts and audiobooks and all that, I started going on long walks. It's really enjoyable. I don't know why, but it just is kind of a drag to go, but I made a commitment to go, and it makes me feel so much better. I stopped listening to any kind of music, podcast, audible. It was a little bit hard in the beginning, I'm not gonna lie, but it really is a way for me to actually think my thoughts. And it's sometimes scary. Oh, that sounds really bad, but no, you get what I'm saying. It's sometimes you feel like, oh my gosh, there's a lot happening in my head of all these things I have to do, all the things that I need to remember. And when you're listening to something, a podcast, music, or you just kind of forget about it. And I stopped listening to any media or anything, and it's such a way to observe nature, to feel like you're enough, that you don't need to constantly keep up with trying to get educated on some podcast or need to be on top of everything. I highly suggest you trying this out. Go for a walk and don't put any headphones in. It's gonna be weird. Maybe it's not a thing, maybe that's very basic, but for me that was a change, and I love this change. If you have a young child, and especially if you're solo or a single parent, you know how hard it is to learn how to say no, because you can't. A lot of times you can't. Sometimes, especially I remember when my daughter was really young, there was no one getting up when she was screaming. Like, I had to get up because I knew there was no one else laying next to me or anyone around me who would get up and do it. And so over time, I felt like it was so wired into my brain that I couldn't say no. If some things had to be done, I was the one responsible. And yeah, that's maybe also something very basic. Probably not. I don't know why it's normal for so many of us to do it alone, but that's besides the point. Let's just think about the idea of it. And I mean, just me feeling conditioned to never being able to say no. And obviously I loved doing it. There was no question of not me doing it, but it was something in conditioning that I felt I couldn't say no, because I literally couldn't. When other people would ask me, hey, can you help me move? Yep. Can you help me paint? Yes. Can you help me this with this? Can you bring me this? Can you do that? I couldn't say no. For the love of God, I couldn't say no. I couldn't. I just had to do it, because the one time I would try to say no, the guilt after, I couldn't handle it. And I think that makes it so hard to fill up your own cup if you're constantly on alert for other people, for your family, your job, your parents, your kids, wherever it is. You just feel like you're on constant hold from everybody, and it's really tough. But I learned to say no. If you want to move, no, I won't be there. I literally can't. I don't have time to help you move. I can Venmo you some money and help you pay for movers, but I don't have time to carry heavy shit on the 5th floor. I don't. My body is not meant to do this anymore. And even now, I still can feel a little guilty in my head. I'm like, why are you saying this? But that's just something I'm continuously working on. I am not perfected this part of my life yet, but that's just something I'm trying to do. Saying no to things that I really can say no to, that I'm not having a responsibility towards. That's just about doing favors for people. It's just hard, but you got to learn to say no. When it comes to nice things for my daughter, I don't cheap out. I love to buy her organic clothes, the best diapers. Like, I'm really on making sure she gets everything she needs. I'm not spoiling her in any way, but I do want to make sure that the things that she gets is good quality. I have all wooden toys. I really spoil her in a way where I feel like it's gonna enrich her childhood. And when it comes to myself, I don't do that. I had a hard time. I feel like my thing with trying to not buy clothes, I still barely have any clothes. I've never been a big shopper, but still I feel like everything that I do own is very minimal. And for some reason it was so engraved into it needs to be on sale, I shouldn't buy things full price. I hate that mentality, actually. I hate always having to look for deals, always trying to figure out the best price. And it's just something I tried to shed for a while. I obviously always would rather buy less and quality, but I just really try to stop of not feeling like deserving of a full priced item. That's so crazy to me that I just couldn't do it. I think it's also just how we've been trained. I worked in retail many years, and when I did this, I knew some of the items that were coming in would be on clearance the next week. And so I know, it's kind of a scam. It feels like they never actually do cost the price that they're charging full price. But I just wanted to switch and not feel like I've always have to get a bargain. I just wanted to feel like, wow, this is a beautiful dress. I want it. And it's full price, and I'm gonna get this because I deserve to have something nice to wear. One of the hobbies I started doing that I have been doing for many years and I started investing in heavily, which I absolutely love, is my film cameras. It's a hobby that's very expensive. If you know, film rolls are very expensive. The development time, everything, you have to pay for everything. It's quite a thing, and I have been enjoying it. Actually, I have a couple of these. This is a little film camera, very old, and it's a hobby that I've been enjoying, and it brings me so much joy. I literally have all pictures from my daughters. Unfortunately, I cannot show, but I have hundreds of photos just from my film cameras. I have another one that's an underwater one, super fun. And that's another hobby. Like, investing in hobbies makes everything so much more fun and makes your life better, makes everything feel, it gives you a sense of purpose. It gives you a sense that you're filling up your own cup because you're doing something, not because it makes you money, not because you have to. It's something that you enjoy doing, and you're even spending money on it, meaning it goes back to the idea of being worth something. Not everything is worth just because it costs something, but you get what I'm saying. I just want to showcase that it is worth to invest into yourself, into your hobbies, even if it means they don't make you any money, but they bring you joy and they fill up your cup. I'm generally curious on how you fill up your own cup, and if you have any tips on how to do that, or if you want to share how you do that, I'd love to read that. And I hope these help you fill up your own cup. It's so important. And the cheesy saying that you can only help others if you're full and have a lot of things going inside your own cup, then you can get the overpour to others. I think there's some true saying to that, and I hope those tips will help you feel better and feel less tired and feel more excited about life. Oh yeah, by the way, I forgot, those videos that I'm making, that's just fun for me. I love making them. That fills up my cup. It's my time to be a little bit creative and just incorporating more hobby. I'm trying to incorporate more hobbies. So I already have two, so I'm looking for more. Maybe a new sport. Give me some tips if you have any.